Continue to watch very carefully as the snow has now arrived in the far southwestern parts of our area, back towards the Harrisburg, Middletown area, and continues to creep right along the Berks County area, just far western and southwestern parts of our area. We're going to continue to see that advance into the area as we move through up until between now and let's say 3 o'clock. Most parts of our area, at least with the exception of maybe northeastern parts of our area, will have seen the snow overspread our area. It's fighting a lot of dry air, generally very light snow initially, but as we get into the afternoon hours, into the evening, we'll see some periods of snow. Some of it could be heavy at times. There may be just a little bit of mixing with sleet, but at this point in time, it does look like predominantly should be mostly snow with a little bit of sleet, maybe a little bit of freezing rain at the tail end before a little bit of cool air wraps down. And then you could have some lingering snow showers. But I suspect that, again, the bulk of the precipitation that we get will fall, pretty much as we get into the late afternoon or into the evening hours, and then probably starts to lift out and move away the steadiest precipitation by midnight or 1 a.m., and we'll certainly keep a close eye on that. Doesn't mean, until that upper level feature moves through, that we still could be talking about the opportunity for a couple of snow showers around during the day and even pick up maybe an additional inch of accumulation possible during the day tomorrow. But at this point in time, again, stubborn cold wedge. Oftentimes you got that cold air in place in our particular area where that rain-snow line, very difficult to forecast. But it does look like most parts of our area should just end up getting snow as this one chunk of energy goes up towards the Great Lakes, secondary forms off the coast, and then really moves up the eastern seaboard. And overall, again, I think most parts of our area are probably going to be picking up 3 to 5 inches of snow with maybe a little bit of sleet mixing in. You can see on the Doppler radar as we put this into motion, clearly you can see one chunk of energy curling up towards the Great Lakes, and again, this other batch just moving up, and secondary will be forming off the coast. But we are seeing some pretty good snows now just again to our south and west that'll continue to advance into our area. So 3 to 5 inches overall for most parts of our area, and by the time we get into Monday, that storm system will pull away. So snow arriving, look for a low of 33 degrees, snow mixing with a little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain late tonight, but most of it going to be snow tapering off. Look for a low of 30 degrees in your extended forecast. Warmer air going to be getting into our area as we get on into your Wednesday, Thursday. It looks like even into Friday. There could be another event on Thursday night into Friday, some snow, and then changing over to rain. We'll keep you posted. I hope you have yourself a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in to 69 News. And, of course, I invite you to keep tuning into the AccuWeather channel as well. As we continue to watch this storm, we'll be giving you team coverage right on through the afternoon and the evening. Don't forget to email us, weather@WFMZ.com, once the snow starts to fall. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, welcome back. Good to see you, everybody. Hope you're having a good afternoon. As far as our forecast is concerned, continuing to watch very carefully. A winter storm warning remains in effect through the evening and overnight hours. But we're in a bit of a transition period, and we got to watch this very, very carefully. As you know, leading up to the storm, we had been saying 1 to 3 inch amounts, and as we kind of got into the early morning hours and watching it very carefully, there was some thinking, and some of the models were kind of jumping up and thinking we could see a little beefier amounts with this overrunning situation. I'm going to watch and show you what we've got going, though. It's a little bit of a complicated scenario. Area of low pressure curling up over the Great Lakes. Secondary now over South Carolina. That's going to pull northeast, and really that is the one that, as far as the models were concerned, is going to bring us the moisture and the precipitation. But I want you to watch here as we take a look on the Doppler radar. I got this primary low here, low pressure right now. This is what we've got on the eastern seaboard here, and there's really just no support. What we've got in our area right now is just very light snowfall. Watching this secondary low here form over South Carolina, and the exact track of that storm is going to determine exactly how much moisture we get out of this. As far as the forecast is concerned, the bulk of this steady precipitation will head towards the Delmarva, but again, we have to see and watch if this is going to fill back in. Right now, there's some drier air that's trying to work in here in the back edge of this. Either way you look at it, take a look here, past 6 hours. Again, light, steady snow from the Berks, Schuylkill County area right on through the Lehigh Valley area right now, but we're seeing kind of some drier air that's trying to work in here to try to erode that. So what may happen is there may be a period, you can see some of these holes, what may happen is there might be a period where the light snow just kind of tapers off and even moves east, and then we're going to have to see whether or not we see that redevelopment over South Carolina pushing moisture back and into our area. Assuming that occurs, we're going to be talking about somewhere in the ballpark of, maybe 2-3 inches of snow in some parts of our area. I think at this point in time, unless we really get moisture shoved back into our area, the higher ends of these numbers don't seem likely. We'd have to see some pretty significant redevelopment. But either way you look at it, this whole storm system and this whole mess is moving away from our area pretty rapidly as we get into the overnight hours. I think by midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever occurs here, and as we continue to keep a watchful eye, which is why we're in here we're going to be doing team coverage at 6 and 10. Mark is in here as well, and we're going to continue to give you updates on the AccuWeather channel here on the hour as conditions warrant. But the storm itself will be out of here, moving away. And while I think as we get into your Monday, I think, it's just going to feel completely differently as this storm pulls away. So we'll continue to talk about some snow, at least light snow in our area. It may actually stop for a while, and then we're going to have to see if this kind of thing redevelops as we move into the evening hours. And if it does, we'll be talking about additional accumulating snow. And we think at this point in time, we continue to think that will occur. But I really need to encourage you to stay tuned, of course, to all the very latest updates. You can obviously see temperatures will be on the increase. Normal daytime high for this time of year, 42 degrees. As we approach Read Across America Friday, could be another storm system that could affect us for a bit of snow, changing over to some rain as temperatures get up to 43 degrees. Stay with us. Again, we'll continue to give you updates as we move throughout the rest of the afternoon. And, of course, as we approach 69 News at 6 o'clock. I thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have yourself a good day. Welcome back. Good to see you all. Just a couple of developments, things happening here. First of all, I want to let you know that 69 News starts at 6 o'clock, so please tune in at that time for a lot of things happening, not just with our weather, but, of course, the latest news, sports, and lots more details on your AccuWeather forecast. I want to be able to let you know, again, we're doing another update at 5 o'clock, so at the top of the hour, so please join us at that time. Of course, always on the AccuWeather channel. Winter storm warning continues to be in effect for a good part of our viewing area. You guys in Schuylkill County, and then further north and west, you see all shaded in white now. They've been downgraded to a winter weather advisory. Why would the National Weather Service do that? I think it was certainly warranted. We'll explain why here in just a second. Got this huge area of low pressure curling up towards the Great Lakes. Secondary low, which right now continues to move off South Carolina, right about there. And as we see this it's kind of almost like a tug of war, competing for energy. And this is a really impressive area of low pressure. This area off of South Carolina that'll continue to push north and east away from the area. That's trying to kind of take control and take over as the primary low. But again, it is a struggle, a power struggle between the two energies. Anytime you've got competing storms like that, they're kind of battling to see who's going to kind of take over and take the energy. Now take a look. You'll obviously see the two chunks splitting. It's that first primary low going up over the Great Lakes. A lot of tremendous amounts of snow here and really coming down. Secondary low here, and you're going to see as this pulls off to the north and east, the models show that there's going to be just a very sharp gradient between who sees the steadiest and heaviest snow out of this and who doesn't. I mean, clearly you can see there's a line right there, and we've been seeing some dry air. I told you last hour, we're waiting to see this dry air was trying to work in. It was eroding some of the snow on the back end. There's a little bit of evidence this is trying to fill in. This is why we're kind of in a transitional time watching to see how this unfolds. Throughout most parts of our area now, we've seen light snow overspread most parts of our viewing area, but there were some pockets, some holes, and you can clearly see. But I want to be able to show you what I was just talking to Mark about is back here on the edge, right there. Do you see that? We're just trying to see, because south of York, there's some evidence that it's trying to fill back in on this edge here. At some point, we will see, this has kind of been advancing as this dry air is trying to work in, we'll see this forward progression off to the east kind of stop. As that storm pulls up to the northeast, we'll see some of that moisture kind of rotate back and into our area. Just question is how far does that progress and when do we start seeing that pivoting? So a bit of a complicated forecast to be sure. Either way you look at it, interestingly enough, looking at this, because it looks as though now that further north and west you go in our viewing area, it looks pretty clear that that's where you're going to be talking about lesser amounts. Then that gradient, it increases as you go. So further south and east in our viewing area, that's probably where you're going to end up seeing some of the higher amounts. And then as you move north and west, lesser amounts. And so we've been saying earlier, we said 1 to 3 inches for a good part of our viewing area. And while that's still, we're going to have to watch, may end up working out okay. I think as you move further south and east, so in the Lehigh Valley area, the lower end of this scale might be better. And as you go further south and east, you may be talking about the mid to upper end of that scale. And again, it all depends if we continue to see that filling in and the track and speed intensity of that storm. Looks like either way it goes, things should be moving away from our area by midnight, 1, 2 a.m., the steady precipitation. Still could see some light precipitation in and around the area as that storm rapidly moves away. So for your night tonight, periods of snow as we move throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Periods of snow, some of it light, some of it moderate, and at times it could be heavy. Between 6 and 9 o'clock, there's going to be a lot of upward motion in the atmosphere, so that certainly will give at least the opportunity for some heavier snow. But highs 33 degrees, could be a bit of sleet mixing in, especially south and east. Later on, maybe a little bit of freezing rain tapers off during the overnight hours. And as we get into your Monday, I think we'll be talking about a couple of snow showers possible around, then some warmer air as we get into your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Again, I invite you to tune in. 5 o'clock, we'll give you an update. 6 o'clock, 69 News starts at 6, and then update at 7, 8, 9. Of course, 69 News at 10 o'clock. So please join us. And we'll be giving you updates on the AccuWeather channel all night long. So stay with us. We'll watch it. Definitely a developing fluid situation, but we'll stay on top of it. We believe me. We are in front of the monitor's Doppler radar, and this is one of those situations where you just simply, you look at the computer models and they're kind of saying very similar things, but now casting, just analyzing that Doppler radar, and we're waiting to see whether or not we really see that fill back in on the back edge. We'll keep you posted. Hope to see you at 5 o'clock. Hope you're having a good Sunday afternoon. And today's show, I hope you're having a good Sunday early evening. As I want to be able to show you here over our shoulder here, we've got winter storm warning remains in effect for all counties in our viewing area except you guys in Schuylkill County. Schuylkill County on west and northwest been downgraded to a winter weather advisory, and for good reason. Continuing to watch, as you can see in our viewing area, snow falling anywhere from light to moderate, and there's some breaks in the action, and I think this is really predominantly going to be an evening event. At this point in time, anything that we've seen throughout the afternoon hours has generally been on the light side, although we do have a fresh coating, probably up to an inch in some spots. Certainly some southern counties, Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, could have a couple of inches on the ground at this point in time, but you can still see there's still breaks in the action. But these darker shades of blue, it comes down pretty hard. Now, as we move throughout your evening hours, we're going to continue to talk about a couple of different things happening. There's kind of a competing forces here. Two areas of low pressure. This first one curling up over the Great Wet Lakes. This one over South Carolina will be off the coast of the Delmarva, New Jersey tip by tomorrow morning. All of that to say, between now and into your day, well, at least into the early part of the overnight hours, the best opportunity for any snowfall that we're going to see will continue. That said, as you want to be able to see here, there's going to be a gradient as we see in our viewing area. North and west, there's going to be really 1 to 3 inch amounts or less. And as you get further south and east, there's probably going to be higher amounts. And so the further south and east you go, we like these higher ends of these totals. Further north and west you go, probably the lighter ends of these totals. And so it's going to be, there's no question there's going to be a gradient of some kind. We still think, though, looking at the model information, that if you draw a line through our viewing area, most places, assuming that this moisture continues to feed into this storm and we don't see the dry slot work up through our area, that we should pick up the 3 to 5 inches for a good part of our viewing area. Let's break it down for you this way. And I really want to invite you to tune into 69 News. Starts at 6 o'clock and then, of course, at 10. But in between then, 7, 8, 9, there are going to be updates right on top of the hour. So join us at that time. Your forecast for your night tonight, mixing, I think, snow, periods of snow throughout the evening hours at varying rates. At times light to moderate, and it could come down harder. The best lift in the atmosphere, upward motion between 6 and 9 o'clock, so that's certainly going to help. And again, we're going to watch this to see how this all unfolds with this storm over South Carolina as it kind of starts to intensify, and see that deepen a bit as it starts to pull north and east. A little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain certainly could mix in. We're watching very carefully back south of Pittsburgh, a warm slot of air. I mean, back in the southeast, southwest corner of the state of Pennsylvania, you're talking about temperatures up in the 50s and even, I think, low 60s. I mean, it's just remarkable how that's punching in. That's well to the west, though. And again, that should not be a factor for us as we still hanging on to that low-level moisture. Temperatures, most parts of our area right now, around 30, 31, 29, 31 degrees. Cloudy, a couple of snow showers around, bit of drizzle, high 35, low 20. But between now and I think maybe 1, 2 a.m., between now and 1 to 2 a.m., that's going to be our best chance for snow. Again, there could be some sleet, a little bit of freezing rain mixing in. Again, some snow showers around could give us an extra coating to an inch, and then you can clearly see temperatures getting much closer to what's normal for this time of year, 42 degrees. Thursday night, I am a little bit concerned that we could see a bit of snow, maybe mixing with a bit of sleet, and then changing back over to rain. Periods of rain for the day on Friday. And again, when we get to 69 News at 6 o'clock, you'll see all of our weather cams and see what's happening throughout our region. Mark is here as well. He'll be out on the boardwalk, and plus he'll be doing a special, give us some special reports. And keep those emails coming in, weather at WFMZ.com, weather at WFMZ.com. Let us know how much you have, where you happen to be, and we'll be passing those totals along starting at 6 o'clock.